Today I'm going to share 10 things that you must stop doing if you want to have a great life. These are all strategies that I learned and have implemented since my early 20s. And for over 30 years, these things have made me become successful and have what I believe has been a great life. I want to share these with you because I know that if you follow these strategies, you can have a great life too. Make sure you stay till the very end of this video because I'm going to share with you some of my best tips and tricks on how to accomplish things, and I think you'll find them very rewarding. Now let's get started. Number one, procrastination, putting things off. This is a huge thing. We are human beings. We tend to procrastinate. A lot of us tend to put things off because we either don't want to do it today or we just wait too long. This is a horrible thing. Do not procrastinate. Do things now. Do them sooner than later. The sooner you get things done, the better it is. By procrastinating, we're just putting things off to the last minute. And a lot of times we're not putting in the maximum amount of effort, or we're having to stay up late to get the assignment done or to finish the work we need for our boss. It's just something that puts a lot of undue stress on our bodies and our minds, and it's absolutely not necessary. If you stop procrastinating and just get things done sooner, it will really help you in your life. I know I've been a victim of this, and sometimes I still procrastinate, but I'm always fighting with myself to make sure just get things done. I think this is super important. Number two, comparison. This is another thing you must stop doing if you want to have a great life. Comparison is like the theft of joy. Basically, if you start comparing yourself to other people or to other things that people have, you steal the joy from yourself of the things that you have accomplished, the things that you have in life. It doesn't matter what somebody else has, what they're doing. The race for you should be strictly with yourself. You should never compare yourself to others and say that, well, I wish I had this or I wish I had that. You need to make your own goals so you can move forward in life and progress. Stop comparing yourself to what other people have done, what they can do. They're different circumstances. They might have different abilities. Some of these abilities you could surpass and do better. Some of them you can't. But like I said, comparison is a very negative trait, and it literally is the theft of all joy from us. Number three, caring about what others think. This is a huge one, guys. I absolutely hate this one. Stop caring about what other people think of you. It doesn't matter. The only time I think it might matter a little bit is if it's somebody you really respect. Otherwise, who cares? Who cares what somebody on the street thinks about you or even what they say about you? It is not important. You have to have your own self-worth. What other people think about you doesn't matter. They're not paying your bills. They're not helping you out. So if some random stranger says something bad about you or anything like that, try to ignore it to the best of your abilities. Firmly believe that somebody says something negative about me. It's in my power whether I accept it or not. And I typically choose not to accept negative things. So don't listen to other people who are negative around you and say bad things about you. It's just not that important, and all it does is make you feel worse about yourself when in reality it doesn't really matter. Often I hear people say, well, what will other people think? Other people have too much shit going on in their lives typically to even worry or care about what you're doing. So just think of it that way. They're too busy. They don't care what's going on with your life. A stranger doesn't really matter, and you should be doing what you want to be doing without worry as to what some other people might think about you. Number four, and this is about planning. Now, I don't want you to get confused because you absolutely need a plan in life, because I believe that if you fail to plan, you basically plan to fail. But here is the catch. At some point, you need to stop planning and start doing. You don't want what's commonly known as paralysis by analysis, where you overanalyze everything. You can't make a decision. And I've known people who have worked on projects for 4 or 5 years, and they just kept wanting it perfect before they moved forward. Life doesn't work that way. Just start doing. I think action beats planning any time of the day. So if you have something, just start moving forward. It might not be perfect, but you will actually be working on it instead of sitting around and planning every single step of it. Again, don't get me wrong, planning is very important, but you do need to just move forward. So for me, I have always just started moving forward even when everything wasn't right. Because in reality, the timing is never going to be perfect. There's always going to be something in the way. Action, action, action. It won't be perfect. I can guarantee you that. But you will be moving forward and you will start accomplishing and you will start doing. And speaking of action, a subscribe to this channel and a thumbs up would be great. I would really appreciate you doing that for me. Thank you very much. Number 5 on my list of 10 things that you must stop doing in order to have a great life is not caring for yourself. This is vital. You have to care for yourself. You are number one. If you don't take care of yourself, there's a big chance that nobody else will. And I think that is super, super important. Now, caring for yourself comes in several different planes. Let's first talk about the physical. You have to take care of your physical self, whether it's your physical health or just going out and getting exercise. And what I mean by exercise is something as simple as going for a 20-minute walk really stimulates blood flow, will help you come up with new ideas, will help you think more clearly. It is such a vital thing for all of us to do. Go out for a walk and just take care of yourself physically. Make sure you have a good diet. Make sure that you're getting some exercise. Plenty of sleep. That is very important. And the second part is your mental well-being. You have to take care of yourself mentally. And that means giving yourself enough rest for your brain to function correctly, not letting negative thoughts creep in, talking to people if you need help, talking to friends. It's really important that we keep our mind fresh. Sometimes it's more important than the body because your body will follow what your brain does. So make sure that you're taking care of your mind and taking care of how you feel about yourself and other things around you. That is absolutely vital. Don't forget, you are number one to yourself. You have to take care of number one because many times, if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of other people. Number 6. Do not focus on the negative or catastrophize. Many people tend to focus on the negative. The term catastrophizing basically means that you make a catastrophe, a disaster, out of every little thing. You start thinking about all the things that could go wrong, everything that could possibly happen, and you start just expecting the worst. And your mind just starts shutting down and cutting down the creative process, because you become paralyzed with fear, which is a horrible thing because you cannot move forward. So you have to stop thinking about negative. I'm not saying that you don't want to stop and think about possible consequences to whatever you're doing. It's important to think about things that might go wrong and solutions to those things. But being constantly negative or catastrophizing is something that will not get you anywhere in life. You have to really think positive. I think Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. And basically, whatever you decide in your mind will help you achieve it. And if you think you're going to fail, your mind will help you fail. If you think you're going to succeed, your mind will help you succeed. So make sure you follow that. Number 7 is blaming people for your failures. If you think that it's always somebody else's fault, you think nobody cares about you, and it's everybody else's fault that they have an issue with you, chances are it's not a problem they're having. There's something that you're doing, something that you're manifesting in your life that is either pushing people away or is creating that whole scenario. If you fail, you have to be able to look inside and figure out why you failed. Look at yourself, figure out what you did wrong. I'm not saying you need to always blame yourself for everything, but it is really important that you can take stock, look at your actions, and decide what it is that caused you to fail or make this mistake. Or, like I said earlier, if you feel that, for instance, nobody in your work environment likes you, you have to stop and think, what is it that you're doing? I'm not saying you're a bad person and that you're not doing everything right, but a lot of time it comes back to us. And when we want to just blame everybody else for screwing up our lives, ruining things for us, that's rarely the case. We are the center of our own being and our own lives. I firmly believe it is our control to direct our life in good ways and bad ways. Whichever way we choose, every decision makes a difference. So just slow down, take a look inside of yourself. Think of what is it that you might be doing to slowing yourself down, to causing these issues in your life. You might be surprised and you might really learn something about yourself if you do take a moment and look within. Number 8, not having a why. This one is huge. Let me explain to you. A lot of people focus on how to accomplish things, how to accomplish their goals. That's key. However, the first and the most important thing you need to have is a why. And what I mean is a reason. You have to have a reason why you want to accomplish something. For example, let's say you decide, I want to be a millionaire. Well, you need to have a reason why you want to be a millionaire. So start thinking about that. Maybe it's because you want to help your family. You don't want them to worry about money. You have other people you want to help. Or maybe there's a charitable organization that you want to donate to. You have to have reasons why to do things. And if you start coming up with reasons why to do things, believe it or not, your mind will start coming up with solutions on how to solve that problem. Our brains are amazing computers, and they're always trying to solve problems for us. Anytime I've ever had something I wanted to accomplish, I always sit down and I try to write down all the reasons why I want to do this. After that, the what and the how, that will come much easier. So make sure you have a clear and defined reason for why you want to do something, and that will really help you move forward throughout your life. Number 9, not taking chances. This is probably my favorite. You have to be okay with taking chances and be accepting that you might fail, because that is part of life. A lot of people don't get started on something because they're worried about failure. Well, you know, it's a cliche saying, but failure is the mother of all invention. If you look at inventors, for instance, Edison, I believe he went through several thousand different versions of the light bulb before he finally found what worked. What if he had given up? He didn't. Personally, I love failure, and that might sound rather strange to some of you, but I firmly believe that we learn more from our failures than our successes. If we fail and we are able to look at the problem, we could determine where the failure happened and what we need to change. However, many times when we succeed, we just think, hey, everything's going great, I don't have to worry about it, and move forward, so we don't look at what we have done. That's why it's so important. And it's okay to fail. The most successful people have failed thousands of times. When you see someone who you consider has made it in life, you haven't seen all the times they have failed. And it's okay. So you have to just go out, try things. They might not work the way you want them to. You might fail, but you have to keep going and pick yourself up. And if somebody tells you you can't do it, don't listen to them. Go forward. Do what you believe in, and it will happen. Don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of the possibilities that this might not work out. You have to be able to just move forward and accept that failure is part of the game of life and learning and moving forward. I welcome failure. I welcome mistakes, because to me, these are the best learning opportunities, and I think it's the only way we can truly progress. Number 10 in my list of 10 things you must stop doing if you want a great life. This is definitely my top one, and this would be not trusting your gut. You have to trust your gut. Now, what do I mean by gut? We're talking about this feeling you get in your stomach, in your gut about something. You might meet somebody, or you might have something coming up, and you just have this feeling like it's either really good or it's really bad. And sometimes you wonder, where is that coming from? Your gut feelings are based on your knowledge and your experience. Over the years of the things you have done in your life, your brain has stored all of your knowledge, all of your experience. So when you come into a situation, your brain is automatically starting to determine what kind of a situation this is and how it might turn out. So that gut feeling you're having is actually your subconscious telling you something. And I think it's so vital that you trust your gut. Every time I didn't trust my gut on a situation, it never worked out. Usually your gut is right, and I firmly believe that we have to go with that feeling because it's our intuition. It's telling us what to do. It's telling us, hey buddy, listen up. Here's a secret. Do this or don't do this because this is what I know from my experience and my learning. Have you ever taken a test, answered all the questions, and then you went back and you changed some? Most of the time, you'll have made a mistake changing them because your original answer was correct because it came from your gut. And that's why I always say you have to trust your gut. So there you go. This is my list of 10 things that I feel you must stop doing in order to have a great life that I wanted to share with you in the hopes that I can share something that I have learned that might help you with your life to move forward. Feel free to come back to this video and watch it over whenever you need to see these tips, hear these ideas, and remind yourself of the things that you must stop doing if you want to have a great life. In the description of this video, I will put links to my favorite self-help books and courses and any other materials that I think could help you. If you enjoyed my video, check out some of these other videos that I have here. I always say at the end, and I truly mean it, please don't forget to take care of yourselves. Bye.